What is the strategic, economic, or otherwise benefit of our involvement in Ukraine?
My understanding is
0.
That
Well, go ahead.
fuck you.
Yeah. 0.8.
But also,
0.8.
no.
0 benefit.
My understanding.
Best answer of the debate so far.
Fuck you or 0. My understanding is, this should not be the primary motivator, and I'm not sure that it is. But if you take just morality out of the equation, looking at Russia as a geopolitical rival, they have been weakened as a consequence of this. Now, you can say that they're going to win, and certainly they have still the stronger military, but they are not in a better position now than they were prior to the war, number one. Number two, we consider Ukraine an ally. We consider them somebody that, we have diplomatic and economic incentives for them to succeed. Also, by definition, the European Union as well. So it seems like we have diplomatic and economic reasons and to try to weaken Russia, number one. Yes. But I just want to be clear, at least for me, and I'm sure Luke would agree, if Ukraine did not want to fight, I don't think we should be forcing or coercing Ukraine to fight. If they decide, you know what, fuck it, we've resisted, let's have either a settlement or just wave the white flag all the way around. I mean, I think it would suck that we were empowering and rewarding Putin, but at that point, yes, the aid should be cut off. But my understanding is they still want to fight and they just need help. So
who is they though?
Ukrainian people, right? Isn't there in the Ukrainian government?
Zelensky wants to fight.
Well, I believe that largely the population has either resisted conscription or fled the country.
Yeah.
Not the majority, I'm saying, but
I'm sure there's people doing that. Yeah,
I mean, they're drafting women and elderly.
They're not.
So I don't think
pull
people
up polling.
I'm sorry. You're right. To be clear, I'm sure the number of people who want to pick up a gun and fight Russian soldiers, I'm sure that number.
And that's what matters.
Diminished.
Not the puppet that we put in place.
No.
Not even
Let's not even call it puppet. Let's just say the government of a small group of people. Do you guys believe that the small government, this limited amount of people, have a right to force the people of Ukraine through conscription to go fight a war?
No, I'm saying, if they have drafts, they could probably draft people. Yeah.
So the question then becomes, when you say Ukraine wants to fight, you're talking about the oligarchs and the politicians,
That's what I
not the people.
Yeah, I was about to specify.
Well, what they're actually...
Wait, just let me specify. If public opinion was against it, I would say, they democratically should listen to the public opinion.
The government of Ukraine has largely been described for decades as an oligarchy. You guys know how the oligarchy formed?
And corrupt. Super corrupt.
Let me answer your question.
I'm making a point about the structure of the government. That's why I asked the question. Mm-hmm. After the fall of the Soviet Union, the general story is that you've got these Soviet factories, for instance. They run up the chain of command through the Communist Party. That's how the Soviet Union ran. When the Soviet Union collapses and Ukraine effectively becomes its own state, where does this factory answer to now that the party has been shattered? What happens was, there's one story of a guy, one of the oligarchs, got a couple of his buddies with some guns, walked into the factory and said, "Who's in charge?" And I'm the foreman. And they say, "Okay, we're going to take care of everything for you. We're the bosses. This is our factory now." And they say, "Well, what does that mean?" It means all the supplies you need to come in and make the factory work, we will take care of, but you answer to me. And the worker said, "That sounds great to us, actually, because we don't know who we're supposed to answer to." This created a massive wealth gap in Ukraine for decades, where you had a very small group of ultra-wealthy individuals. One of the most interesting things I found about Kiev is that the price of a condo or a house was comparable to a house or a condo in the United States, despite the fact that these people were making about $400 a month. So with the government being largely oligarchic, the question of whether or not Ukraine wants to fight this war is an interesting one, and I'm curious what you guys think.
Yes. So back to just public opinion. If there was an overwhelming opposition within Ukraine among Ukrainian citizens for continuing this war, then I think that they should resolve it because democracy.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is not something I focus on my channel. So for all I know, there's compelling evidence that the public sentiment is, fuck it. Let's just, again, either negotiated settlement or concede the land.
25% of the population has been displaced, with 7 million as refugees fleeing the country.
Yeah, man.
By the way,
they don't want the war. Again, it's American media that controls it. We're going to go out and fight this war. We got Zelensky in, who's obviously like a puppet of the United States. It's the United States saying we need to weaken Russia at any cost. If it means Ukrainians die and we spend a bunch of money, we're going to do it. The people don't want the war.
This brings up a more compelling question I'd like you to answer to, though, Luke, which is this.
Wow.
Do you think, ultimately, that Russia likely is going to win the conflict with Ukraine and get at least a large portion of Ukrainian land? Do you think ultimately that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Then the entailment actually of your position is this, when you say weaken Russia, that you want the United States to fund an oligarchical government which will continue to draft the citizenry of the Ukraine to go die to weaken people you don't like.
Exactly.
That is the action. Hang on. I just want to make sure. What did I just say there that's incorrect?
All of it.
Okay, which thing?
Yeah. So I keep saying, and as I'm pulling up polling myself, it's been pretty quickly dropping year by year, public support for this. And so as we get less and less support among Ukraine, because I'm not saying they should die for us if they don't want to. And as more
Nobody,
people
none of them
don't
want to die for us, bro. Nobody wants to die for us.
some of them are willing to die for their own country, and I'm saying
their country,
if
yes.
they're doing
At
it
least
for
not 10 million of them.
if
A
they're
quarter
do-
of the country.
well,
isn't.
part
Yeah,
of
but
that's
I'm sorry. Yeah, but
moving out,
that's what he meant. Like he's saying
But
that
you're
this,
saying you want American treasure to prop this up in order to assist these war fighters for your interest to go die on behalf of an oligarchical nation, which is
Russia?
drafting their own citizenry. You want to pay for that because it weakens a geopolitical rival of
I
yours.
think you correct me if I'm wrong, because I know this is my position. I think the position is we should be continuing to support an ally as long as they want to resist an invader, a foreign invader, which incidentally also benefits us directly because it weakens a foreign adversary, that same invader. For me, the calculus changes tremendously if it turns out that, that Zelensky is forcing the Ukrainian people to resist. Like they don't want to resist.
Yes,
anymore.
and that's our
no,
point.
he's I understand that he is drafting people.
Yeah, what's a draft?
He's kidnapping them. He's literally kidnapping of age men and taking them and forcing them to be in the military.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. So subscribe and come hang out.